Before we begin, take a quick second to subscribe to the channel and join a community of collectors, history lovers, and treasure hunters who believe that sometimes the smallest pieces of metal can carry the biggest stories, and sometimes even life-changing value. If you enjoy discovering rare coins, hidden history, and the possibility that something sitting quietly in a drawer might actually be worth thousands, make sure you subscribe now so you never miss the next discovery. Imagine holding a simple coin in your hand. It feels ordinary. The metal is cool, the design looks familiar, and at first glance it seems like nothing more than everyday currency from the past. But what if that small piece of metal was actually part of a much larger story? What if that coin had traveled through decades of history, through changing governments, shifting economies, and countless hands before finally arriving in yours? Tonight, we are looking at one such coin. A coin that many people have seen. A coin that many people have ignored. A coin that some collectors once overlooked. Yet hidden within its story is something that makes experienced collectors pause, lean closer, and ask a simple but powerful question. Could this be one of the rare ones? The coin in question is the 1992 1 Rand coin from South Africa. At first glance, the coin appears straightforward. It was part of everyday currency in South Africa during the early 1990s, a period filled with enormous historical change. This was a time when the country stood on the edge of transformation. Political tensions were shifting, international attention was focused on the nation, and the economic system was moving toward a new era. Coins minted during times of change often become far more interesting than coins minted during quiet years. Why? Because moments of transition sometimes create unusual minting patterns, special issues, short production runs, and tiny variations that later become incredibly valuable to collectors. The 1992 1 Rand coin is connected to exactly that type of historical moment. But to truly understand why collectors care about this coin today, we need to step back and look at the story behind it. South Africa's currency system has gone through several stages of development. Over the decades, the rand became one of the most recognized currencies in Africa. The 1 Rand coin, in particular, served as a reliable piece of daily commerce. It moved through markets, shops, transportation systems, and homes. Millions of people used it without giving it a second thought. Yet collectors know something that everyday users often do not realize. Within large numbers of circulating coins, there are sometimes tiny differences. Slight variations in mint marks, subtle design differences, small changes in metal composition, even minor errors during the minting process. Most people never notice these differences. They spend the coin and move on. But collectors notice everything. That a tiny shift in lettering can turn a common coin into a rare variety. That a limited production run can transform an ordinary coin into a sought-after collectible decades later. And a coin connected to a historic year can gain significance simply because of the moment in which it was created. The year 1992 is one of those moments in South African history. During that period, the nation was in the middle of dramatic political change. Negotiations were shaping the future of the country. Global attention was focused on what would happen next. Economic structures were adjusting, and institutions, including the National Mint, were operating during a time of uncertainty and transition. Coins produced during transitional years sometimes experience unusual circumstances at the mint. Production levels may change. Equipment may be adjusted. Designs might be prepared for upcoming currency transitions. All of these factors can create small groups of coins that later become important to collectors. Now let's talk about the design of the 1 Rand coin itself. That on one side, the coin features a carefully crafted design that reflects the natural heritage of South Africa. The imagery connects the currency to the land, the wildlife, and the national identity of the country. The engravings are precise, balanced, and recognizable. On the other side, the coin displays the denomination and identifying details that place it firmly within the South African monetary system. To the average person, the coin simply looks like money. But to a trained collector's eye, every detail matters. The spacing of the letters, the sharpness of the strike, the position of small design elements. Even the condition of the coin can dramatically influence its value. Condition is one of the most powerful factors in coin collecting. A coin that circulated heavily might be worth very little, even if it is old. But the same coin preserved in excellent condition, without scratches, heavy wear, or damage, can command dramatically higher prices. Collectors use grading systems to measure the condition of coins. These grades range from heavily worn coins that barely show their original design to pristine coins that appear almost untouched since the day they left the mint. And sometimes, the difference between those grades can mean the difference between a coin worth a few dollars and one worth thousands. That brings us back to the 1992 1 rand. Over the years, collectors began noticing that certain examples from this year appeared less frequently in high-quality condition. Some were preserved carefully, stored in collections, or saved by individuals who sensed that the coin might someday carry historical significance. Others disappeared into circulation, worn down by decades of US.AS time past. The supply of well-preserved examples became smaller and smaller, and when supply becomes limited, something important happens in the world of collectibles. Demand starts to grow. Collectors around the world began paying closer attention to South African coins. The global coin collecting community expanded rapidly during the early 2000s and 2010s. Online marketplaces, auctions, and international collector forums made it easier than ever for enthusiasts to share information and trade rare items. Suddenly, coins that had once been considered simple regional currency began appearing in international auctions. And that is when the conversation around certain 1 rand coins began to change. Collectors started comparing mint years. They studied production records. They examined die varieties and strike differences, and gradually, the 1992 coin gained attention among those who specialize in South African numismatics. Now imagine the excitement of a collector searching through old coin jars, estate collections, or inherited boxes of currency. They sort through hundreds of coins. Most are common. Most hold only face value. But every so often, a coin appears that makes the collector stop. The date catches their eye. 1992 that they turn the coin over slowly. Checking the design. They examine the condition. They compare the details against known collector references. And in that moment, a simple question forms in their mind. Could this be one of the valuable ones? Stories like this happen more often than people realize. Many valuable coins have been discovered in ordinary places. Inside old wallets. Hidden in forgotten drawers. Mixed with foreign currency from travel decades ago. Some people spend rare coins without ever realizing what they had. Others discover them years later and experience the thrill that every collector dreams about. The thrill of realizing that something small, something ordinary, might actually be extraordinary. The 1992 1 rand coin sits right in that fascinating space between ordinary and extraordinary. Millions were produced, yes, but not all coins survive the same way. Not all coins remain in collector condition. And not all coins capture the interest of the market at the same time. When a coin connects historical significance, limited preserved examples, and growing collector demand, something remarkable can happen. Its value can rise, slowly at first, then faster. Then suddenly collectors begin talking about it with excitement. Auction houses start listing exceptional examples. Serious buyers begin competing for the best pieces. And that is where the story becomes truly interesting, because collectors are not just buying metal. They are buying history. They are buying rarity. They are buying the story behind the object. When someone holds a 1992 1 rand coin that has survived in outstanding condition, they are holding a piece of a moment in time. A moment when South Africa stood on the edge of major transformation. A moment when the currency of the country continued moving through the hands of millions while history unfolded around it. That connection between object and history gives the coin meaning. And meaning is one of the most powerful forces in collecting. Now imagine a collector attending an auction. The room is quiet, that a rare coin is placed under the light. Experts examine it carefully. The auctioneer describes its year, its condition, and its significance to collectors. Bidding begins. 1 bidder raises a paddle. Another bidder joins. The numbers rise. Each bidder understands that coins like this do not appear every day. They know opportunities like this can be rare. And in moments like that, the value of a coin becomes very real. Collectors who once ignored certain coins